Good morning, my little humans. What's going on? Welcome to episode 138 of the show with me, Michael Labs, your host, on this beautiful Tuesday morning. Holy sugar nuts! It's been an eventful weekend. It's been a beautiful weekend. It's been a peaceful weekend. I'm pleasantly surprised with the way that the world is right now. I really am. I'm gonna send a text message real quick to my girlfriend, see if she will bring me up a water bottle, which she may not though. And this is very unprofessional, but it is what it is. Can you bring me up a water, please? I started the episode, but forgot to get one, and my mouth is dry. You can come on in. Hopefully she does that. If not, we're just gonna roll. Let it roll the way it happens. But how's everyone doing out there? It's a beautiful Tuesday morning. A lot of shit has gone down since the last time I spoke to everybody. I'll go ahead and light these suckers up. Just candles, man. I'm telling you, Joey Diaz is onto something with the candles. Completely changes the vibe of a podcast. I think everybody wants to see it these days. Everyone just wants to see happiness, and I think that's what we're getting. I think Saturday night was the day that we all figured out who the president was going to be. President Joe Biden, Vice President Kamala Harris. We'll see if she sees it. If not, it's no biggie. Not a biggie. But yeah. Looks like we do know who the new president's going to be, and it looks like everybody's happy with it, and that's what makes me super happy. Was I shocked? So let me just give my initial thought on it. Was I shocked by the results? Yes, I was shocked by the results. I really did think in my heart, or I just want to put it out there first. I voted for Joe Jurgensen. I voted for an independent. The reason why is because I couldn't get on board with either candidate, so I fell in the neutral territory. But with that being said, if I was a betting man, I would have put money on Donald Trump. And the reason why I would have put money on Donald Trump is because I did fall into the trap of looking at I believed that the silent majority was going to come out and really put it on the Democrats, and I thought that there was a lot of people who weren't being represented the right way, a lot of people who may have had opinions that didn't hit mainstream media, and I thought that they were going to come out really strong, but it turned out that didn't happen, and now we have Mr. Biden as our president for the next 4 years, which I know for a lot of people is super troubling, but it's not. It shouldn't be troubling. Thank you so much. You're the best. Thank you. Look at all these candles. It's like a church ceremony. Thank you. But I personally believe that it's for the best. It's for the first time in 7-8 months, I feel a sense of peace in the nation. Like I feel a sense of we're over the hump of really hating each other. And I think that, and I think the reason why I feel that way is because the majority won this time. In 2016, the majority didn't win, right? The popular vote went to Hillary Clinton, but Donald Trump swept the floor on the electoral votes. But this time around, Joe Biden swept him off of everything. And I know Donald Trump is really putting up a fight for fake votes or illegal votes, which is, I don't know. It seemed like to me that going into the election, all of this stuff should have been hashed out. Like the idea that mail-in votes, if he didn't want them to be legal, he should have really pushed harder to make sure that mail-in votes didn't count. Like there was a process for that. They could have legally did it, but he didn't do that. I guess his team and himself were so confident about sweeping the floor and about winning the entire thing, that he just kind of threw his hands up. He said, yeah, you guys can go ahead and have all those mail-in votes because it won't impact the outcome. And it did impact the outcome. So many states swung the other way. Swung. I'm a fucking dumbass. Swung the other way. You know, like I think 2016 versus 2020 election. See if I can see the map. It should just be like a side by side map. Is this it? I think this is it. Yeah, here we go. So 2016, that's 2012. That doesn't help me. That's not what I want to see. It's not what I want to see. It's not what I want to see. So I guess I might just be able to look at it and tell. So yeah, okay. So if you look here, you guys can't see this. But in 2016, Donald Trump won Arizona. He won Wisconsin and Michigan. He also won Georgia, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania. And I think this time around, Donald Trump lost, or Joe Biden won Arizona. He won Wisconsin. He won Michigan. He won Georgia. He lost North Carolina, and he won Pennsylvania. And then it shows in like the top right part of Maine that there's like lines going across. Like he might have won some and didn't win all of it. I don't know what that means. But that was those. I mean, Biden crushed. Like he took so many places that I didn't think he would even stand a chance, and he came out swinging, man. I wonder what the final election results are. I mean, he came out swinging 290 to 214. Georgia and North Carolina technically still haven't finished their voting process, which is insane. So has Alaska. Alaska still haven't finished their counting of the votes. I don't know what they're doing there. But yeah, he came out, he swung, he won, and I'm happy. You know, I'm happy that it's a double-sided coin, right? Because I think on Saturday Joe Biden was announced that he was going to win, and for me, immediate sense of relief was gone because I was so happy that the election was just over. Honestly, like I was just happy that it was done with. I'm happy that we could hopefully get back to a normal sense of life. In those 3 days, I think like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, nobody talked about COVID. So COVID kind of like disappeared for a while. You know, good thing or bad thing, I'm not too sure. But it did. It kind of like disappeared from the world. And I was like super happy about that. I was like, fuck yeah, no more COVID. I don't want to deal with it. It's just it's exhausting, right? And I'm not like discounting it, saying it's not something that we need to take care of, but at the same time, it is like, holy shit, this is exhausting. Can we just be done with COVID already? Even though I know consciously that you can't just be done with COVID because COVID is a virus and it's going to keep staying here. But I felt like this sense of peace. Like there wasn't any protesting, which was really nice to see. I was really proud. I'm a registered Republican, like from birth, and I've never registered for a different party. I wouldn't do that. I would just vote for a different party. Like that's what I do. I just vote for a different party. But I just wouldn't go through the work to do that. But I'm a registered Republican, so it was really nice to see that there wasn't chaos in the streets. Like there wasn't like huge anger among the Republicans. Everyone seemed to be peaceful. Everyone seemed to just kind of deal with it, which is really nice to see. It was nice to see the binding of American people just kind of, you know, for those who were pro-Biden, just go like they were super happy. And then those who were pro-Trump, they were upset, but they didn't protest, which was really nice to see. And I don't know if it would have been the same way if the Democrats would have protested and the Republicans would have, you know, I don't know what the outcome could have been if the election went the other way. You know, it's a super fascinating question to ask yourself, but it's a thought experiment. It's not real because it's not going to be real because Joe Biden is going to be the president of the United States of America, the 46th president we've ever seen. Kamala Harris is going to be the first female vice president, the first Asian, the first Indian, or Native American, the first African American, the first female vice president. And she's going to be the president within 2 years. I would strongly say that because I don't think Biden has a brain capacity. I don't think he has a capacity to really make it a whole 4 years as president of the United States. If he does, that'll be shocking to me, but I just don't think he has the ability to do that. But there's this sense of peace. Like, you remember when Obama was president, you may not have trusted him with, you may not have thought of him as the person to take the country to the next level, as in a economic force, as in a powerhouse, as in even protective country. He got caught spying on his own people. Edward Snowden released that in 2013. Just a lot of sketchy things happened. But, and this is a big but this is an important but, and I think this is a very valuable thing to say, is that when he got up and he spoke to the people, there was this overwhelming sense of unity, right? And that's what I think we've missed that more than anything else. It's been so divisive. So many things have been leveraged to divide people more and more and more. Everything from China to taxes to coronavirus, and that's one that I'm gonna speak about on in a little bit, but one that's kind of upset me more than anything else. And when I say upset, I mean like not to the point where it it gets me like all pissed off. Like, it just makes me go like, fuck, man, why did it have to be this way? But there's been a lot of leveraging of certain evils in the world to pin people up against each other. And the bait has been taken, and people have taken the bait happily too. Even I think if they're aware of the bait, they've still taken it and swam upstream with it. But I'm super excited to see that peace looks like it's upon us. I think I don't know. I don't really have any formulated opinions on it. I'm just happy that we have a president right now that seems to have the ability to bring people together instead of dividing people through Twitter like our previous president did have. Now, we also have to understand, and this is where I think violence could really break out and really divide the nation, is just because Joe Biden has, and this isn't me, I'm not being a conspiracy theorist. I'm not trying to make some crazy shit up. I'm just speaking on what could happen and what has happened before. Just one example though. You can't be 100% guaranteed. I'm like 95% positive that Joe Biden is going to be the president, but at the same time, Donald Trump is, he is going to the courts about this, and I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means for anything. I just know that he is filling out class lawsuits against certain states and certain processes to see if there was any type of fraud, any type of conspiracies against him to get him out of the office. I'm not 100% sure about that. Results. I just want to look up the Senate results real quick. Yeah, so Republicans still winning that, which I think is good. I think we need to have balance at least. But you never know. You never know. Something crazy could happen. Crazier things has happened. I mean, back during Al Gore and George Bush the first time in 2000, I think that would have been the first time. That would have been the first time, right? Al Gore beat George Bush. Maybe that was George Bush Sr. I don't know. No, because George Bush would have won. It must have been George Bush Sr. who was running. No, I don't know. And I was right. George Bush won the first time, and then won the second time too, I believe. I don't know. Who cares? But Al Gore beat George Bush in Florida by like 500 votes, and they demanded a recount. After the recount, Al Gore ended up losing. George Bush ended up winning. So that's just one example of something that could flip-flop the results. But at the same time, what Donald Trump is claiming is that there was a huge conspiracy against him involving multiple states, and who really knows what that means. None of us honestly do know what it means, because none of us are in the deep world of politics, which is dark and sketchy, and it's just a world that I'm happy I don't have to work for it, and I'm happy I don't have to be part of every day, because I feel like I wouldn't be happy in it, because it seems like there's a lot of sketch balls and a lot of shit that goes down. It seems like a lot of people in the politics are pedophiles and they get away with it. And if they, like, I'm gonna look this up. Let's just see a number real quick. List of politicians who committed sexual who have sexual allegations, who have sexual allegations. Let's just see. Here's a list of political figures accused of sexual misconducts. Oh my God, look at this. 90, holy shit, 90 state lawmakers accused of sexual misconduct since 2017. Oh my God. That's insane. Severe, dude, it just goes on and on and on. Wait, what? Harry. Oh, Power for Men. I don't want to see Power for Men. I mean, yeah, all these people look a little like I wouldn't I shouldn't say that, right? I shouldn't judge people by the way they look. But the politics is the one that's super dark, because the politics work with the law, so there's this idea that they can like cover it up, because they can definitely cover it up a lot more than most people. And when they do get, so here we go, resigned or removed from office. I'm just going to do, I just want to, so Alaska Representative Zach Fansler, and this is from Denver Post, written by the Associated Press, February 2nd, 2019. Just want to see who the author is so I don't get it completely wrong. It may not say, but it should. So the source comes from reporting by AP state government reporters throughout the country. 90 people. Texas, Senator Charles Schwerwinter accused in September 2018 of sending a sexually explicit image and text message to a University of Texas grad student he had met at a campus event during the summer. Another Tennessee, David Byrd, accused by 3 women in a media report March 27, 2018 of sexual misconduct as their high school basketball coach several decades ago. Pennsylvania, Tom Clatagorny faced calls by Governor Tom Wolf to resign after reports in December 2017 that House Democrats authorized paying about $250,000 to settle a sexual harassment claim from a legislative assistant against Clatagorny. Dude, it's insane. It just keeps going. I want to see if there's any from Maryland. It's fucking no, none from Maryland. These dirty people, they get too much power, dude. They get way too much power, and they just go crazy. That's the issue with these people who are, so many people are removed from office too, and that's what happens. They just remove them from office, and then you never hear about them again. They're just gone. They probably never see a second in prison. Here's just a random one I picked. Okay, from Idaho, Representative Brandon Hickson resigned October 19, 2017, while under criminal investigation for molesting 2 girls, including a young female relative, for more than 10 years, and then he killed himself. Okay, before his ex-wife and 2 others were to testify. Okay, well, that one's really dark. Dylan Bates from Maine resigned August 20, 2018, a little over 2 weeks after a media report claimed that he had romantic relationships with female students while working as a teacher and coach. Bates also resigned from coaching. So this is what's crazy, is that you hear like these crazy conspiracy theories. So this is, fuck, man, this is getting really weird. And I probably shouldn't get into this, but I'm going to get into this. So you hear like these Jeffrey Epstein. Let's just talk about Jeffrey Epstein. So you hear prominent individuals, intelligent people, like guys like Eric Weinstein, these guys who are super intelligent. They speak about Jeffrey Epstein as this guy who basically provided men in power with young females. Like, he was the middle ground. He was the dude who provided for money or for new open doors for more power. His exchange he got that in exchange for giving young females away to certain people. So you hear about this and you're like, that's insane. Why would that happen? Who would even do that? Who would even go about that? Who would even say like that's something that I would want, right? And then you forget about how corrupt politics are. You forget about who these people are. The Jeffrey Epstein thing is weird because before anything even came out, he died or he committed suicide or no one really knows what he did. People have no idea, right? It's said to commit suicide, but I just don't believe it. To me, seems like he was murdered by somebody, and I think that is gonna be a thing that gets my podcast shadow banned, which I know is happening a lot, and I have sources that tell me that. 2 Epstein victims dropped their cases against the state. Speed reading. Why Ghislaine Maxwell was just as much as a predator as Jeffrey Epstein from the Newsweek from one day ago. Yeah, dude. But you ask yourself, why is there such a market? It's because you can look up articles. 90 state lawmakers accused of sexual misconduct since 2017. 5 Colorado lawmakers made the list. This is where it comes from. This is why he was murdered. This is why he was killed, because of stuff like this, you know? And it's just so fucking dark, dude. It's just so dark to see that, and it exists, and we don't really talk about it. We kind of just let it go, unless you get a podcast. If you get like a podcast like this where I just spout off random shit, then you hear about it. Otherwise, you just don't know. Like, you can look it up for yourself, and if it can ruin it will ruin your day. But yeah, back to the big news. He's our president, and it's time to buckle down and see what happens these next 3 months. It's gonna be fascinating. It's gonna be super, super fascinating to see. Says he would take coronavirus first to see public concern. It's super fascinating to see what happens. I know, like, for example, I woke up Monday morning. You guys are seeing this Tuesday. I gotta stop telling you guys the times of everything. But I woke up Monday morning, and first thing I did, I rolled over. I looked at my Robinhood account, and the market was up like crazy. It said the Dow Jones was up like 1,200 points. I was like, what the fuck? What is going on? Pfizer they said that their vaccine, Pfizer announced COVID-19 vaccine candidate is 90% effective, which is huge. Now, I don't know if that is okay. The irony. Do you guys see the irony there? Or is it just me being overly skeptical? 3 days after we know who the new president is, Pfizer comes out and says, yes, we have a vaccine that's 90% workable, 90% successful rate. It's almost like, and I don't want to sound like I'm a conspiracy type person. I don't want you to think like I'm being insensitive here, but it is really ironic that for the past 6 months, Donald Trump has been saying that we are super close to a vaccine, blah, 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 and people have just been fucking trashing him for it. And I get it. He does it in a very irresponsible way. But then, boom. It comes out that we have a vaccine that's 90% effective after we know who the president's going to be, and the president's not Joe Biden. Now, it makes you think, let's just do a thought experiment. What if we lived in a world where Donald Trump won the presidency? Again, he was running for 4 more years. Would we still have this vaccine coming out that's 90% effective, or would we not? And if we did, would it make any media coverage? One thing, and that's amazing, right? And so the whole market's kind of been exploding like this past, like at least as of Monday. The market's been doing super well. I bought a lot of weed stocks because a lot of states they're making weed legal, and I think weed's going to be the next $1 million generational wealth contributor. Same way that like the .com era was billionaires. tech was billionaires, phones, stuff like that. There's always a wave of new things that make a lot of people money. I think weed is going to be the nice thing, because it's going to be the next thing. It's going to make a lot of people a lot of money. A lot of people are very rich if you can get in at the right time. And I dove in super hard to see if I do get lucky. But it is fascinating to see that we have a vaccine now that's 90% effective. And the Pfizer CEO comes out and says he would take coronavirus vaccine first to ease public concern. COVID-19 first analyst, outed vaccine expert on Biden viruses task force. Tropical storm coming in Florida. Holy shit. It's just, I don't know. You don't want to believe that there was insider information and that they weren't going to release anything positive until they got this guy out of office, because that goes against everything that we stand for as a country. We want to put the country first, not our vendettas against certain people. And if it does come out that we had this way before, we knew who the president was going to be, then that's an issue. And I think people should stand up against that, because that's wrong, inappropriate, and that's disgusting. But the other thing I want to talk about, which I don't think a lot of people are covering about, on Saturday when Joe Biden did win, every city in the country had groups of thousands of people together, not protesting, celebrating. I'll just pull up Cleveland, Joe Biden. You just see these images of Cleveland's Joe Biden celebration. You just see these groups of people, like tens of thousands of people, just celebrating out in the streets. Meanwhile, just a week ago, we were freaking out about groups of more than 3 people together. Like California passed that rule where, like, they literally made regulations for Thanksgiving. California Thanksgiving rules. Like, literally, this just came out like a week ago. I'm reading them to you. So attendance. So this is from Public Health California. California is now telling you how you can celebrate your Thanksgiving. Attendance gatherings that include more than 3 households are prohibited. This includes every present, including host and guests. Remember, the smaller number of people, the safer. Keep the households they interact with stable over time. The host should collect names of all attendees and contact information in case contact tracing is needed later. Gather outdoors. Gatherings that occur outdoors are significantly safer than indoor gatherings. All gatherings must be held outside. Attendees must go inside to use restrooms as long as the restrooms are frequently sanitized. Like, you can't, like, if I have people over my house in California, hypothetically, I could get in trouble for having family over. Don't attend gatherings if you feel sick. Obviously, don't be an asshole. Practice physical. It's just wear a mask on Thanksgiving. Like, it's just really weird that, like, this right here was released. Like, this huge PDF, paper was released. I don't know. When did this come out? October 9th, 2020. And now, if you look in California during the celebration, it was just chaos. People were just gathered together. It's almost like we forget about COVID when it doesn't go against Donald Trump, and that's super concerning to me. I don't know, maybe that's just me being a jerk, or me overanalyzing it, or me just being hypercritical of it, but to me it seems like it should be something that we're worried about all the time. And I don't know, like, it's one of those things that if the news just stops covering COVID doesn't exist. And that's super scary. It's super scary to think that maybe COVID was just leveraged to remove somebody from office. It wouldn't be a big deal if it didn't result in death, but it results in death, right? There were celebrations that were crazy. DC was filled. New York City looked like it was New York City from 2018, and people were just going crazy. It looked like it was New Year's throughout the country. There's images of people without masks. There's people with masks on. There's people touching, kissing, hugging. San Francisco was just fucking going crazy. People were sharing syringes. I'm just kidding. That was a terrible joke. But it was just utter chaos. And it's like, wait a second here. We were all just messed up, losing our mind. And this has been happening during the entire COVID thing. Like, there's so many spikes right after. Like, there was a huge spike after all the protests after the George Floyd, which is understandable. And there's going to be a huge spike now, and I don't know if anyone's going to talk about it, especially now with the Pfizer vaccine thing. Like, I don't know if people want to talk about it, because the truth is things don't exist unless they're spoken on. If people don't speak on them, it doesn't exist. Like, that's just the truth, and that's always been the power of media, and that's always been the power of journalism. That's been the power of news outlets. Freedom of speech allows that to happen. Like, if you want to make something a big deal, you just constantly replay it so people can cut it in clips, put it on Twitter, put it on YouTube, things can go viral. And it's just sad to see that maybe that happened here. I'm not 100% sure, but it's a possibility. But I don't know. It's just that was disturbing for me to see, and I looked everywhere. Nobody was talking about it. Nobody was talking about it. Here we go. George Bush congratulated Biden on a victory. We must come together. I agree. We need to come together as a country. I miss that. I miss people. I miss peace. I want peace more than anything. Japan and South Korea congratulate Biden. It was really fascinating. I saw that in London there was an anti-lockdown protest. It looked like thousands of people. Nobody had a mask on, and places are starting to lock down again, and people aren't having it. That's something that I think the media is not going to keep a close eye on, but it's something that, because here's my bold prediction. I think coronavirus is going to be done within 4 months. I think we're going to have a vaccine for it, which is a plus, but I also really do believe, and I could just be super ignorant here and just sound like an absolute idiot, but I don't think people are going to talk about it anymore. I just don't think it's going to be a big deal anymore, because what people wanted happened. Biden is the president. Why would you keep on speaking? You don't want to make him look bad, right? And I could just be super ignorant, which is very highly likely, but I think that people are done with it. And you can tell in the countries where there's not a new election, people are done with it. People are protesting without masks on. People are so tired of COVID, and it could bite us in our ass, and it could grow into something different and just murder us all. But people are sick and tired of being locked away. People hate it. I know for me, I don't want to be locked down again. I want to keep my job. I don't want to have to wear a mask everywhere I go. I do it, but it does suck. Who's gonna say that it doesn't suck? It sucks, dude. Putting a mask on everywhere you go sucks. And maybe it's more, for me, it's more of a, maybe I'm just bitching more because I wear it all the time at work, which is fine, but it's just you forget what it feels like. Like one of the greatest feelings now is walking out of a place and taking your mask off. And I used to just take that for granted. It's something that I'm always going to appreciate now. Portugal, Hungary hunker down against Europe's virus surge. I don't know, man. People are just oil prices surge. Asia Pacific stocks jump as investors react to Biden because he's gonna let up on all the what do you call them? All the tariffs that we have with China, man. Pfizer, man, that could be the reckoning of our whole. If you have money in Pfizer, you just got super rich. Wow. Yeah, man. It's a beautiful time to be American, dude. It's a good time to be an American. But that's it, guys. I'm not going to hold you much longer. I'm not just going to ramble, just hit 40 minutes. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know there's a lot going on in this country. It's a good time to be an American. It's a good time to come together with people that maybe you feel like you need to apologize to for being a jerk. But it's time to just feel peace again in this country, and I'm excited for it. I'm looking forward to it. I think people are going to be happy, and it's going to be a good 2021. And coronavirus is slowly coming to an end. Vaccines coming. Media stops talking about it. It's gone. That's just my personal opinion. But I thank you guys so much for enjoying the episode. It was episode 137 of the show with me. Actually 138. I'll catch you guys in episode 139. Have a beautiful Wednesday. I'll see you guys Thursday. Peace out. See ya. Have a good one.